welcome to today's members crystal ball. So yes, this is another members crystal ball. So welcome members. Shout out to Pooja, as I see Pooja has rejoined, I think that's what that notification means. So yeah, that's great. Really lovely to see you again. Pooja, hello, how are you? I'm very well. I hope you are well. So, if the music is too loud and you can't hear me, please let me know. Hello Jan, hello Sid as well. Welcome. I hope you guys are all doing well. Just waiting for my chat here. It's a little bit easier to see when it's on my phone and it's right next to me than looking there. It doesn't scroll down there. So bear with me one moment as I try to get my chat. I don't have a chat yet. I think we have Miss Venus. So hello and welcome. Yeah, well, there has been members crystal balls this month. I don't know, maybe you missed them. I definitely think we've done, because I tried to do two members crystal balls, like all members, and one heart a month. So let me just check. Definitely did the heart one. Yes, we did one. It was just very early in the month. The last one that we did. So yes. But I might as well say, whilst we do have members in, that the abundance spell. So we're doing an abundance spell. Yes, we're doing an abundance spell. There are 20 places. It's free for members and people who aren't members. The kind of minimum payments is going to be £3 because I think that makes it fair, because the minimum member fee is that. So I think that's fair, makes it fair for the members. But there's only 20 places. We do have 20 members, but not every member makes the stream or wants to be on every stream. If you are a member who cannot make the stream, I think we will do it where we'll either do it where you can book a space anyway, even though you can't make it, because you're a member, and I think that's fair. Or if it does get busy with other people that aren't members, which I don't believe it will. I don't think it's going to. But if it does, if something changes there, we can do another one at a more suitable time for other members. So if you can't make it, don't worry too much about that. But do check that, because I know not everyone sees the community tab posts, so that's why I'm mentioning it rarely, because it's a mobile stream, so it's not scheduled like this one was on the homepage, basically. So just so you know about that. So it is at 8 PM GMT on the 30th of April. I've put the time conversion website that I use on the post. So if you go to my posts page on YouTube, on here, you can convert your time to see if you can make it. Yeah, 20 spaces. So I'm thinking, like, if you can't make it, I'll book you on. But yeah, we'll just have to kind of see how it goes. So I hope that's okay. Let's see if I have my chat now, because I don't know what I'm going to do if I don't get my chat. I'm just going to completely close that and reopen it. Hold on. Maybe I have too many tabs open here. Bear with me. But yeah, I hope you guys are all well. I do see we have some other people coming in, Marianne and Kevin. So it's really, really nice to see you guys. Oh, I have my chat now. Amazing. Okay, so I have my chat. That is great. So yeah, So that was just a little bit of explanation on the abundance spell. If you do have any questions on that, I can't speak today, please let me know, and we will see what we can do with that. So let's see. Oh, Kevin, thank you. Kevin says, I love your hair today. It looks good. Thank you very much. Yeah, I think it just mix it up a little bit with some feathers in there. So thank you. I appreciate that. So Pusha says the music is okay. Sometimes it covers up what you're saying. Yeah, so let's turn it down a bit. You have to kind of play around with it from different streams because the mic here is much better than the mobile mic. So yes, let's turn it down a little bit. Maybe put it on 30. That might be enough. So let me know, is that better? I think that probably is better. So thank you, Pooja, for pointing that out. I really appreciate that. And let's see. Dupree, really nice to see you. It's been a while. Okay, so yeah, we're just going in with questions now, so that's great. So yeah, I will begin with the questions. I just wanted to mention that with the abundance spell. So again, if you have any questions on the abundance spell, please contact me. And if you can make it, please let me know as well. So if you can make it, please let me know, because that would be great. I can get a kind of an idea of, you know, how many people are going to be there. But there are 20 spaces. I don't think all spaces will be taken up, so I don't think it's any worries. So let's get into the crystal ball. Let's get into the questions. Sorry about that. So Miss Venus, I'm having a lot of vivid dreams where I wake up and my left hand and arm is activated and the energy is moving strongly. My body is vibrating. What is going on? Okay, so it happens after the vivid dreams, I think is what you're saying. Okay. There does seem to be some energy of entering and leaving different realms. So kind of an entry into a realm and a re-entry back into physical like space is really coming up. So I do feel like you do have some of that where, you know, you're traveling the realms, so you're kind of leaving yourself, coming back to yourself and things like that. But I do think you have a few different things going on here. So yeah, it might be kind of a bit of a learning journey to pinpoint when certain things happen, when specific things happen, you know, because I do feel like some of it is entry and re-entry through the realms and through traveling and things like that. But I also do feel that some of it is your energy kind of shifting as well, like up and down your chakras, your maybe some kundalini energy going on there when you are having, for example, activations being worked on by specifically starseed guides coming up, so being worked on by them. They're channeling their energy, they're doing their thing as well. So I do feel like you have a few different things going on here. So that's very interesting to look at. And yeah, as well, I hope the music's okay now. Jan says, who called Caden during our hangout the 23rd, and what was said in the call? Caden came back sounding off and sad and in a hurry to leave suddenly. Okay. Okay, so we are getting quite clearly that it was but we're not getting any kind of context of the conversation or anything like that coming through. So I apologise for that. Sid, will I lose weight tomorrow? Okay. I'm guessing a yes on that. There's a good chance of that. Pooja, last night I felt loving and warmth energy of N, and today I kept feeling this warmth energy of him and his energetic presence. Was this feeling true or some wishful desire? Okay. So it does seem like there's a combination. It seems like because he's thinking about you more, and there is kind of a romantic energy to that, a romantic kind of possibility to those thoughts. There is some reaching out to you spiritually and like emotionally even. There is some reaching out to you, but it's then amplified by your own wishes and desires. So it's kind of a combination there going on. So the way you're feeling it intensely, that is because it's amplified by your wishes and desires. Thank you guys. Sorry about the music. Kevin, how do you see next week going for me and A? It will be our last time seeing each other in person before graduation. Okay. So it feels like it'll be quite casual. It doesn't really feel like there's going to be anything super intense. It feels like it's going to be quite casual, but there will be some talking here and there, and the energy, the emotions, and the energy, the vibes, you might say, of those interactions seem good. So it does seem positive. It just seems like it's kind of laid back and kind of not super intense or frequent, you know? Marianne, after doing the meditation with Sekhmet, I've been seeing a lot of black cats. What are they trying to tell me? Okay. Yeah, so it's not necessarily a message, like trying to tell you, to give you a message. It's more an affirmation and confirmation of your connection with her. So it's confirming and affirming that you are connecting with her. It's like a sign that you are connecting, if that makes sense. So anything you're kind of wishing, you know, with embodying her energy, if there's anything that you're kind of wishing to achieve with that embodiment, maybe really begin to try to manifest that, because you're getting signs that, you know, it's working, the connection is working, so that's good. So Jan says, why exactly did Caden block me the night of the 23rd? Is this blocking permanent or temporary? Okay. So it seems like he felt very overwhelmed on the situation going on between you and you know, with him kind of. I won't say he's in the middle, but you know what I mean. Like there's these two sides kind of pulling him, trying to pull him, and it feels like there's like an overwhelmed kind of energy. I feel like, you know, that there was kind of a decision to be made of blocking one or the other. So it's very unfortunate that you are the one chosen here, but you know, that is kind of what's coming up. Oh, is it still too loud? I'm so sorry, is it still too loud? Okay, yes, Miss Venus says much better. Okay, just double checking on that one. Sorry about that. Yes, let's see. I think we're up to... Kevin, what are A's current feelings and thoughts for me? Okay. There's a lot of kind of platonic-like energy there, but there does still feel to be some attraction there, so there is still some attraction there. And Pooja, how my interaction will go with N on his birthday on the 28th. Okay. So it seems like a very brief, short conversation. That's kind of how it seems. Dupree, I was recently approached by a stranger in a parking lot, asking me if I wanted to sell my car. Is this a message from my guides? Okay. So I guess I'm gonna know on that one actually. I guess I'm gonna know on that one. Marianne, is this an angel or other spirits tapping me on my left shoulder? Okay. Actually getting a fairy spirit coming through for this one. Jan, did Caden and Em have an argument or an upset the night of the 23rd? Or an upset on her side towards him? I feel something happened between them that night. Yeah, definitely. I definitely feel like something happened. And I do feel like she was upset about something. And kind of, you know, calling on him, like relying on him for whatever was up. It's just that the context of the like full conversation does not come through. But yeah, I totally agree with that. There was some kind of upset, some kind of issue going on, not being happy with something, you know, maybe not being happy with you, with his. I feel a bit like not being happy with his communication with other girls in general. Like I do feel like there is a dislike for you, obviously, of course. I think we know that, but I do feel that there is some energy as well of kind of, I wouldn't say like controlling or possessive. I don't know if I would go that far at this moment, but I do feel like a lot of jealousy about like him connecting with any kind of females really. So yes, do feel like it was very linked to that. Miss Venus, the other night I had a dream where I was electrocuted, and it was such a vivid and intense dream that I woke still feeling it. Body vibrating, left hand and arm strongly active. What was that? Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh. Okay. Okay, so I am getting something come through for this, but can you please message me in Facebook? I just don't. Some of the questions I don't want to just ask over stream. It's just in case you're not really comfortable with me doing that, basically. So so yeah, we'll just copy and paste that question into Facebook, and I will type up what came through, or I'll type it up after the stream. It's not too long or intense, so I can definitely do that after the stream. You know, I know sometimes they say like message me on Facebook and it takes me days to reply, but yeah, it's not too much that's coming through. It's just that I want to ask you like a question, and it might come across as kind of personal, so I just want to, you know, make sure you're comfortable and, you know, ask you in private, if you will. So Kevin says, excuse me, oh, and I'm so sorry. Yawning. My gosh. Kevin, what can I expect from me and A's connection after our final exams next week? So what can I expect from me and A's connection after our final exams next week? Okay. So it feels like a gradual online connection. Like it feels like it's going to build up gradually online. There's going to be, you know, little bits of talking here and there, and then it's going to kind of increase and things like that. So it seems like kind of slow progression. But yeah, I'm really feeling online. We're really beginning online. It doesn't mean that there can't be in-person meetups or anything like that, but just I'm really getting online come through there. Pooja, what are N's current energies and feelings for me? Okay. there's definitely an attraction, but when I say attraction, I know a lot of the time we're talking like physical attraction. It feels more like a draw to you, like a magnetic attraction, if you will. There's something that kind of is pulling his mind to you, if that makes sense. So there is kind of a recognition of some kind of deeper feelings, but it just feels like he doesn't focus on that too much. Although he feels it, he kind of recognizes that it's more than just, you know, liking you in some way, you know. He feels like he does understand that it's a bit deeper, but there's just not a lot of focus on that. It's ignored a little bit, I would say. Jan, why was Caden with M after he told me he was going to his grandma's the 23rd? Did he lie to me just to be with her because she wanted to crash out hangout session? Okay. Yeah, there's a really strong energy of really wanting to just keep you both separate and kind of not, you know, he doesn't want to discuss her with you, he doesn't want to discuss you with her. That's the kind of energy that comes through with him. Kevin, why did I encounter this attempt to log in as my LinkedIn account getting accessed by someone else? Is it my karma or any lesson to learn for me? Okay. Yeah, there's definitely a lesson. There's definitely a lesson here, and this is very true in a lot of cases where we're kind of being scammed, or we're being kind of, you know, well, yeah, scammed is definitely the right word to use, as someone's trying to deceive us. The lesson of awareness, the lesson of realizing that before it happens is really important. And when you realize it before it happens and you're kind of aware, it shows how grown you are, because there's a lot of people who they go through the scam and then they learn their lesson about it, you know, and that, you know, that's very prominent. You know, a lot of people, that's why they do it. It works. A lot of people do get scammed, unfortunately, and yeah, it really seems like it's a lesson in awareness and being kind of intuitive, aware, instinctual, you know, like kind of knowing and doing the right thing, which, you know, I do believe that you did. Sid, will my new housing officer turn up at my flat before 11 AM every time she's around my block of flats? So I'm getting a no on that one. Dupree, I had a meeting with Patrick yesterday. Can you tell me how that meeting went? Thank you, okay? So I'll see mostly positive energy. Yeah, there feels like a little bit of doubt, or maybe something could have been a bit different, like maybe expecting something to be like an expectation of things being a little bit different, but it doesn't necessarily feel negative. You know, I'm not getting a lot of negative energy there. It seems positive mostly there. Jan, what are Caden's feelings and thoughts for me and their connection? Any intentions? Okay. So that fed up energy is definitely coming through again. Also kind of getting like a worried energy, because it seems like he's really worried about, you know, what to do and the right things to do and things like that. There does seem like there is worry coming through with that fed up energy as well. There's still attraction, there's still liking you, you know, there's still kind of like the care energy and the kind of positive energies there, but that, you know, just noting those other energies as well. So I wouldn't, in intentions, I would say the intentions are about the making a decision. The intentions definitely are about that, and worry about that, like, you know, is Are all the things that I'm doing regarding Jan, regarding the right thing to do? A lot of kind of contemplation on that front, if that makes sense. Marianne, is there a high chance of moving this year? Possibly summertime, okay? So I'm guessing like around 55%. So it's not a super high chance, but it is the most prominent. So yes, it's still the most prominent, although it's not super high. Kevin, when do you see Elucidator coming for placement? Will it be in May? Okay. It seems like there's some possibility around May time. It does seem like there's possibility there. I'm not getting like a no on that. September's really coming through for me here. Pooja, so Pooja says, Miss Venus, my left arm is also very activated from the last 2 years. Whenever I am not taking the right decision, it feels heavy in the left arm. Oh, very interesting. So you kind of have a little sign, That's really interesting. Jan, bear with me one message. Bear with me one message. Bear with me one moment while I read this message. Okay, sorry, just replying to a message there. So we were up to Jan, I think. Why was Caden suddenly hanging out with me so much and reaching out, asking to hang out lately? Was it just out of guilt for forgiving and being with M? Forgiving? Is that right? Oh yes, forgiving M and being with M, yeah. Sorry, that doesn't make sense. So there is some kind of guilt energy there, but it definitely doesn't feel like that's the only energy. Like I said, there's still that attraction and that care and everything to you. So I do feel like it's not just guilt, you know. It's not like he didn't enjoy talking to you and things like that, you know. Miss Venus, plot twist. Things are developing with Charlie now. I'm feeling a strong pull towards him. Like I'm attracted. We are very similar and he can hold space for me in the most of the ways I crave. Amazing! Yeah, that's amazing. Great. So, shocking turn of events. What are his feelings, thoughts, and intentions towards me? Okay. I'm happy. I'm happy with that. So there does seem to be a similar feeling from him that you're having, where you're saying that about feeling like similar, like there's positive similarities. Like I know that opposites attract and it's nice to have differences, but it's like, oh, those positive similarities that you know, build a connection where it's really nice to build a connection when there's something that's similar, like similar interests or something like that. I do really have that feeling of feeling like there's similarities that are very positive with you. It also feels a little bit like there's an ease of conversation, or he feels like there's an ease of conversation. Maybe you don't, but yeah, he feels like there's an ease of conversation, and that's not always the case. Sometimes it feels like he's feeling like a lot of the time he would carry a conversation, you know, and it feels a little bit more natural talking to you and things like that. So it does seem that kind of throat chakra connection that you're building in the first instance, you know, is really positive. So that is nice. And yeah, I'm happy to read that. So I definitely feel like, you know, go with the flow of the universe, but also your own intuition, your own energies, you know, and maybe this is, I don't know, aligning us the higher path in some way, you know? Maybe it's, maybe, you know, and also when you think about it like this as well, perhaps there's a reason for the delay in meeting Omar, you know, because maybe you are to discover this, you know, and then make your decision, if you will. Pooja, I saw a dream of Anne 2 to 3 weeks ago. He was out of his marriage, but was being flirtatious with other girls around him. Is there any significant message in it? Okay. So it does seem to be that there's mostly kind of like uh, a worry here. So it's kind of like your own worries. So we can see sometimes when things are hard within that connection that there is a possible end. So, you know, we've seen quite a few times that there is a possible end to his connection. It doesn't always come up as being like forever, like it's going to last forever. So we do see a possible end to that connection. So I feel like you kind of subconsciously you're knowing that there's possibly an end to that connection, and that there's a worry there, because it's like, just because there's an end to that connection doesn't necessarily mean that there's a beginning to our connection. You know, maybe there's other girls, maybe there's something else that comes up. So it seems like part of it is like your subconscious knowing that there's very well maybe an end to that connection, but then your worries come into the dream. So it becomes a worry dream when these other girls are coming in and they're flirting and everything like that. So yes. Jan says, is Em going to take the opportunity of me not being in contact with Caden to get close to him? Or is it looking more so that Caden during this time period of me being blocked will be in hermit mode? Okay, let's see. Yeah, so there's definitely a pushy energy, like pushing to spend as much time with him as possible. I definitely do see that. But there does seem to be in and out of hermit mode energy with him, which we have seen, we have seen it. There does seem to be that kind of up and down with that. So she's not always going to get that every time she asks. So it's not necessarily that time that he would have spent with you would be replaced, if that makes sense, with her. But yeah, I see like there could be a little bit of an increase in that time, but I don't feel like it's going to be how can I say, like a huge increase. Kevin, if I still do try for getting selected in Cap Gemini through campus placement, how will that go? Okay. So I'm guessing a low probability on that. So I'm guessing like around 40%, but I would still, you know, anything that you're drawn to, anything that you're, is within your like desires and everything, I would definitely say still do it, still go for it. It's always possible to take the lower prominent path, so still go for the things, don't be put off by those kind of answers. But yeah, we are seeing like a slightly low prominence with that. Marianne, why do angels talk to me in their angelic sounds, as they know I can't understand them? Will I be able to decipher their talk soon? Okay. Yeah, so there does seem to be a bit of a process in your in building some of your senses. So it does seem like you are will go, or you know, are going through, let's say, because it has begun, a bit of a process in various elements of your abilities and practices, and that this is kind of a process of tuning into them. So you're not really understanding them correctly right now, but you're beginning to tune in. So yeah, I do see improvements in that, and a gradual coming to understanding. So yes. Miss Venus, what is my compatibility with Charlie? Okay. So if I'm looking at a percent, kind of trying to get a percentage here, I definitely would say it's around 80, maybe a little bit more, with that and how that energy looks. Jan, did Em purposely crash our hangout session? Did she just call Caden to guilt trip him into hanging out with her by making up some sort of emergency? Okay. Yes, we are getting a yes on that. Kevin, how will be my overall experience in Capgemini if I work there? Okay. So it seems like a great kind of experience, like, you know, a bit of a learning experience. It does seem like there's a lot of positives there in terms of your like enjoyment of what you're doing, you know, people as well. So you do see some positive energy there, but there is kind of these phases of some stresses and things coming in. But you know, that is life, I suppose. So I wouldn't really say that that's anything alarming or anything, but that is just coming up. Pooja, how will this family property settlement go? It is not settled yet and postponed again till the next month. Is there a reason behind all of these delays? Let's see. Yes, so an actual alignment hasn't been made yet. Like this is it's interesting. So an actual alignment for how things will be split, who will kind of get, you know, something in this kind of energy, in this situation. It seems like it's not really aligned. It seems like the energy is very up in the air. So something is settling in, something is aligning, and it's not quite aligned. So there's going to be delays until that's fully aligned. So, and this could be something like, there could be some divine timing energy going on here. Like it's going to work out in, you know, in someone's favor, who might have some positive karma or something like that. So yeah, there's something just still aligning there. So there's some delays. Jan, did Em encourage Caden to block me? Does she know what happened? Okay. So I'm getting the no to encouraging it, but I am getting a yes to knowing. Yes. Miss Venus, Charlie already planned our first date, going to a strawberry field, so we can pick our own and eat them together in a peaceful field. How do you see things going between us in our first date? That sounds amazing. That sounds so lovely. It's very cute for a first date, I would say. Like, you know, a lot of people for a first date, it's like, let's go for a coffee or let's have a little drink. So that's a very, very nice first date. So, yes, let's see. So, things going between you guys, okay? Yeah, it feels really positive, and it really feels like it feels like there's an effort to put his best foot forward, and you know, that's not a bad thing. Yeah, but it feels like there's really an effort to really try to show the positive of himself, you know, the really the positive traits of himself, you know. So it seems like there's this effort there, positive energy and effort, and that's really nice to see. Kevin, if A and I get into a long distance relationship, how will it overall be like? Will we be able to work it out? Yeah, this kind of there is kind of low energy around that. Like, there seems to be kind of passion and enthusiasm for it, perhaps in the beginning, but it does kind of seem like there's low energy in expectations. Like, it doesn't really meet either of your kind of expectations of how it should go, if that makes sense. Like, you feel, it seems like there's a little bit of a feeling of something missing on both sides. So I would say the positive thing is you're both kind of resonating in how you feel it, but it does kind of feel a little bit like it might not fully reach your desires for a relationship, your expectations for a relationship, you know, in the end. So that's unfortunate. But I suppose, you know, with these kind of connections, decisions can always be made to make it not long distance, you know, if you can compromise in some way and work that out together. So yeah, it's not necessarily, it doesn't necessarily mean that will be the end of things, but that is what's coming through. I know you guys have tons of questions today, so don't worry if you don't want to pick cards, but I forgot to mention them before, so I'll just go over the cards that I do have, and if anyone does want one, of course you are very welcome to choose one. So yes, if you just want to ask questions, that's fine. But we do have, so we have Unicorn, we have Acacia, we have Angel, we have Love, of course, as usual, and we have 3 of these box ones if I can reach them. So we have Moon Magic, Starseed, and Druid Wisdom, so we do have those as well. If you would like either of those, you can also choose one of those. Jan says, is this blocking? Is this blocking permanent or temporary? If temporary, when will he unblock? Okay. So I'm getting temporary, and it does feel like there's some prominent energy of unblocking being within a 2-week time frame. So that is what I'm seeing at the moment. Kevin, how prepared am I for getting selected in elusive data through campus placement after making changes to my LinkedIn again? Any percentage? So percentage of how prepared you are with everything you've done. Okay. So I'm getting a 70% on that, actually, around 70. So we are up to Marianne. Just going to check how far down the chat go. Oh, it's not too bad. Yes, it's not too long. Just thinking because... Let me see. Yeah, so Marianne. In the woodlands at West Morling? Cowan Park? Sorry if I'm pronouncing that wrong. Was there woodland spirits following me? Okay. Yes, I do get a yes on that. Jan, was Caden expecting me to message him on his phone or another app/game? Did he wish I would have, or did he already block my phone number? Okay. So I'm getting yes to expecting that, but I am getting a no to wishing for it. Oh, and did he already block your number? Let's check that. So I'm getting a no on that one. Pooja, how N is feeling in his current relationship with A. Okay. there's a lot of tense energy, tension, stresses, and things like that. There is a lot of kind of tension and conflict energies coming up. But it does feel kind of, there's also kind of like a hopeful energy. There's still a love there, you know, there's still a love, there's hopeful energy, but it does seem like there's stresses, conflicts, you know, disagreements, tensions, things like that. Oh, I should have some water. Miss Venus, is Charlie my foreseen soulmate? My other psychic friends have foreseen something similar to you months back, and when I showed him a picture of C, he was like, oh my gosh, that's the guy I saw in my visions. Okay. So I'm getting a yes on that, and I do feel like that's the first time I've got any confirmation on that directly on, you know, on a specific person. It has, we've got like, you know, there's been some kind of interaction, there's been some kind of seeing you somewhere or something, but never had confirmation on him, so that's interesting. Jan, has Caden ever blocked on Discord? How many days did it take for him to unblock her? Has Caden ever blocked on Discord, or how many days did it take for him to unblock her? Okay. Yeah, so we are seeing one time of blocking her, and I'm guessing 3 days that it took to unblock. Kevin, I got a reading from somewhere else and got to know Path is starting to have some feelings for me. Is it true? Path getting attracted to me lately, okay? There is something slight there. I do see something quite small, but yes, there is something there. Marianne, does Glasgow have a connection with me? Or if so, will I receive an invitation to visit someone there this year? Okay. So I'm getting yes to the connection, but I'm not getting anything about someone inviting you. So I'm not really seeing that. Jan, why did Caden let himself get manipulated by M? Did she try spinning another story of me harassing her? Or does he no longer believe me in that she was stalking / harassing me? Okay. Yeah, so from what you have both said and the things that you have both kind of said and you know, maybe even shown him, I do kind of get the energy like he feels like you're both as bad as each other. That's really kind of the energy that comes through. Marianne, a male called Gary Bone stole something from me. Is he getting instant karma? Okay. So unfortunately I'm getting a no on instant karma, but he will have karma, but I'm getting a no on instant, unfortunately. Kevin, do you see A inviting me to his and our mutual friends group chat? If so, any time frame? Okay. So I'm getting a no on that one at the moment, so I hope that energy changes for you. Jan, if I start hanging out with my guy friend again, will he dissuade Caden from unblocking me, or will it push him to unblock me faster? Okay, so if he sees you hanging with a guy, is it going to make him want to unblock you or keep you blocked longer, basically, I think we're saying. So I'm actually not really seeing it have too much of an impact, but it does look like it's leaning a little bit more to unblocking. So yeah. but not really seeing it being too impactful, you know. And Miss Venus, also it turns out Charlie has the gift of mediumship. Oh, he said he helped souls transcend until he started getting attacked. He closed it a bit, but he is still sensitive to energy. Is he psychic? Okay, so that's really interesting. That's really nice to read. But of course, not him getting attacked. You think, but I definitely feel like getting attacked is almost like it sounds wrong to put it this way, but it's almost like a rite of passage. It's like we have to realize what we're up against and realize how strong our protections have to be, realize how much we have to really take things seriously and be protected and cleansed, and you know, yeah, I feel like it's kind of, but good for him, you know. It is good to close it and not, at least he didn't get, you know, an attachment, or you know, fall from the light, or to get dragged from the light, you could say. So yeah, that's good. But is he psychic is the question, so sorry about that. So it seems a little bit like a kind of dormant ability. Like, it does seem like he has potential. There's potential there for it, like a good potential. Like, I feel personally like everybody has some level of potential, but you know, I'm looking at it from a point of view of a strong potential, if that makes sense. Yeah, so I would say yes. So looking at what gifts? Yeah, so I feel more like the ability to awaken gifts as opposed to actually having any at the moment. That's how it kind of comes across. He might have had little, this is how I feel, so maybe he might mention something like this, but I feel like he might have had little things happen to him throughout his life, like little brief things that kind of, to a spiritually open person or someone who's wanting to go down the spiritual path, there would be signs that like you should do this or you should go down that path. I do feel like maybe he's, you know, being told by his intuition to not go somewhere that's been dangerous, or you know, something like that, like something that's kind of highly intuitive or kind of a bit psychic, you know, little things throughout his life. Like maybe someone said something and he knew they were going to say it. You know, I get the energy like there's some little snippets he's had, you know. And you also say, and when I first saw this just now, I thought you said you spoke to his mum, and I thought, you haven't even had a first date and you've spoken to his mum. But no, it doesn't say that. I've spoken to him about my experiences and showed him my footage of my galactic friends. What did or does he think about it and me on this? What did or does he think about it and me on this? Okay. It does feel like there's somewhat of an openness, but I wouldn't say like a super keen openness or anything like that. But it doesn't feel, I don't feel like judgy or closed off kind of energy, but I do feel almost like seeing it as a bit quirky, you know, seeing it as a bit quirky kind of thing. I don't feel like it's just, yeah, like I said, like a super keen openness, but I definitely don't feel that judgy, closed off kind of energy. Jan, what were Caden's feelings and thoughts for M and intentions with her? Okay. So you're getting a lot of care and kind of positive energies, positive connections coming up. There's a little bit of kind of feeling dragged down a little bit of annoyance as well as coming up, but it does seem like that's maybe like 30% of the energy, and then the positive is maybe about 70% of the energy at this time. So it does kind of seem, you know, it's a bit more tipping to the positive, unfortunately. But let's see intentions. Yeah, intentions seem very kind of laid back and casual in a sense. And it seems like just hanging out, talking, you know, it doesn't really seem like a specific goal, if you will. And Pooja, one of my friends saw a dream where I was getting married and dressed up in a rose gold wedding attire. What does this symbolize? Okay. So it is, there's a combination here. So there's a positive, there's a vision of the future. So there is a vision of the future here, but it also comes across like this really positive energy from this friend, kind of like it's a subconscious desire to see you really happy, and knowing that that would make you really happy, you know. So there's something really sweet in there as well from the friend, but I do feel like there is a vision there. Kevin, why was H liking Kritika's stories? Does he like her romantically? Okay. Actually, getting a yes on that. Jan, has Em already gotten black magic cast on Caden, or when will she get a spell cast on Caden? Okay. Yeah, it feels more like in the imminent future. So I feel like maybe 3 days, something like that, maybe up to a week. It's kind of the energy coming through there. Marianne, am I being pulled to work more with tarot cards? Okay. Yes, I'm getting a yes on that. Miss Venus, is Charlie going to plan to do something for my birthday? He asked me what kind of flowers I like and said, okay, roses, got it, writing it down. That's very sweet. So, is he going to plan to do something for your birthday? Okay. Yeah, it seems really high in the, kind of the realm of possibility, so it doesn't necessarily seem like there's a specific plan at this time, but it seems really high in the realm of possibility, so he could very well have thought about that, because it's definitely within there. Let me see, I lost where I was up to then because I accidentally changed my phone to like landscape. Oh, here we are. Dupree! Venus, can you see which of my claws are the strongest? Cognizance, audience, etc. Thank you. Okay, yes. So let's see which are the strongest that you have here. So sorry. Pet cognizance is definitely coming up the strongest. It's definitely coming up the strongest. But there's a really high kind of potential around clairvoyance. So it seems like I'm not saying that it's particularly. It doesn't seem like it's particularly strong right at this moment. but it seems like there's a really strong potential of that, so you might be drawn to really improve the clairvoyance side of your spiritual practice. But yeah, claircognizance is definitely coming up strongest for you at the moment. Jan, will what happened right now with Caden blocking me affect the path with him? Are we no longer going to reconcile? Okay. Okay, so at the moment, I'm not really seeing it being a huge block. I'm really seeing it being a bit more of a delay at the moment. So, because it seems like it's very temporary and that the unblocking won't take too long, it doesn't really look like anything is, you know, changing right now. So it's definitely something to keep a check on, especially if you aren't unblocked within the 2-week time frame. If something changes in that time frame, it's definitely something to keep a check on. But right now, it doesn't really seem like there's too much of a change going on there. Yeah, so just reading my Spanish reply here because I am interested in this conversation. I like it when you guys chat in the chat. But yeah, sometimes I'm really interested in what you guys are saying. So Miss Venus says that's so cool that you are that intuitive. For me, it's not about decisions. It's my hand chakra that become activated. It feels like electricity running through my arms and hand, and like I have a big ball of energy spinning in my palm. Yeah, I think that Pooja's one is very because it's funny because our intuition doesn't. I found it. Maybe you guys are different, or you know, maybe there's a lot of you that are different, and I just don't know this. But I find intuition a much more subconscious and like spiritual, rather than having a physical manifestation. So I think that if you have something that's physically happening that's telling you something, I think that's really amazing. So I think that Pooja's ability is very, to me it seems unique. Maybe there is a load of people that have things like that. To me it seems quite unique and interesting. John sees a timeline for Emma Caden to cut ties. Okay. I'm getting 6 weeks coming up with that one. Kevin, if Elucidator comes for September, will I be selected by applying from LinkedIn or through campus placement? Okay. Yeah, we're seeing campus placement being a little bit more prominent there. And Miss Venus says, I skipped. What are Charlie's intentions with me? I'm really sorry about that. Okay. Intentions. Okay. So I see like there is a little bit of relaxed energy of kind of like go with the flow and see where it goes kind of thing, which, you know, I think a lot of us we have to do that in life a lot of the time. But I do see a little bit of that kind of relaxed energy there. But I do also feel like there's definitely more of a long-term idea or hope, or you know, whatever word you might use, but there's definitely more of a long-term kind of thing, thought, feeling, than just kind of like a, you know, maybe you might say just a few dates, kind of flingish kind of energy, maybe you might say. definitely feels much more on the hoping for something to unfold somewhere. Pooja, sometimes I can't avoid my involvement in some of important family matters, but then this physically affects my body. I get sometimes headaches and it makes me nauseous. How can I work on this? I try not to get involved as much as possible. Yeah, I definitely think that you trying not to get involved as much as possible is your guidance, because I know this has come up before, that you really should be following your own path, going your own separate way, and only helping out when you're really needed. Obviously still trying to keep positive chord with the family and things like that, but only really helping out when you're very needed. It definitely has come through before. I don't really feel like there's a change in that. But yeah, maybe we could look at something that might help with actually physically feeling it. So I really think that there should be a lot more cleansing and protection practices when you're like before you're going to do these specific things, you know, because I don't know how intensive your protections, your cleanses and things like that are, but sometimes we find that there might be certain events or even people that we have to do them before we meet or go to, you know. So do you really think about upkeeping your cleansing and protection at those specific times, especially? Maybe even changing if you have like a cleansing and protection ritual, or you know, whatever it might be. If you don't have time, you know, if it's kind of like a time frame thing, you can move it from when you actually do it to always doing it before you go to them. Then it's at the highest before you go to them. So that's what I would say. So yeah, I hope that makes sense. Marianne, who is the strongest male in spirit around me, dad or uncle? Okay. I'm guessing uncle come through there. Kevin, if the chances of getting selected in Lucid Data is in September, then is it better for me to work in Capgemini first and then switch to Lucid Data afterwards? Do you see that being a possibility? Okay. I would tend to say no with this being a possibility because it looks so low. It looks like maybe not even 10% on that one, so I'm sorry to say that. Jan, have been saying affirmations these past few days for occasionally unblocking me and cutting ties with M. Are these affirmations working? Okay. Feels like they have some energy, so I wouldn't say that they're not working. It just feels like they're a little bit low. You know, I would definitely keep them up. That's what I would say. I would definitely keep them up. Maybe you can strengthen them as you keep increasing. You know. Pooja says your left side is connected to your heart, so whenever I go against my heart, it signals me. Oh. That's sweet. Athena's, I know Charlie is not totally in love with me because it's rather new, but what is he feeling about me at the moment? He seems to be very expressive in saying he feels the connection strongly. I'm curious if he's being authentic about his expression of this. Okay. Yeah, it does feel authentic. So what I would say is it does feel authentic. Yeah, I would say it does feel authentic. And I feel like this is something that's come up a little bit lately with some things that I've been doing, like sessions that I've had and things like that. It's like the difference between like love bombing and genuinely being quite expressive emotionally, you know, because when there's love bombing, there's kind of intention behind it, a goal that's wanting to be achieved by it, that's usually, you know, like manipulative or whatever you might say. But I feel like, kind of feeling like this is more just a genuine expression of, like, being genuinely strongly expressive, which I also am. So I am someone, like, in a relationship, I'm very emotionally expressive. So yeah, I kind of resonate with this myself. Um, but it feels authentic. It really does feel authentic. I don't really feel like there's something to, yeah, it feels authentic. Kevin, what are A's intentions for us for this last week of a in-person contact? Anything he wants from us? Okay. So I'm actually getting to know on that. There isn't really a specific desire or kind of plan there. Jan says, what will Caden say to me when he unblocks? Will he apologise, or will he have a heart-to-heart over our feelings? Will he apologise, or will we have a heart-to-heart over our feelings and Yeah, it actually does feel like there will be some kind of discussion, and I do feel like this an apology is kind of like within the realm of possibility there, but there will be some kind of discussion about it. Yes, definitely. Pooja, what clairs are opening up for me? I am having very activated crown chakra these days, and energy runs up and down through my body during meditations. Okay, so what clairs are opening up for you? So I'm getting clairsentience for you, Pooja. Kevin, I do feel a connection with light language and being able to channel it through my words and movements. How connected am I with light language? Any percentage? Okay. Yeah, so I'm trying to put that into a percentage, getting around 65%. Jan, do Caden and Em hang out on the 24th or 25th in secret? Were they in a group setting with Drew? Okay. So I'm getting a group setting to the 24th. That's what's coming through there. Miss Venus, is Charlie interested romantically in other people as much as me too? Or is he beginning to focus more on me? He told me his intention with me directly and seems to be invested in me, talking all day and night. Lol. So, is he interested romantically in other people as much as you? Or is he beginning to focus more on you? Okay, okay. There's definitely a shift of focus to you. There's definitely a shift of focus to you. I wouldn't say that all other channels with other females are completely closed at this time, but I would say that there's definitely a shift of focus to you 100%. I do feel that. Bear with me. Sorry, I won't be a moment. Thank you, Miss Venus, for the Facebook as well. There, I just saw that. Marianne, I have a big bee coming to my bedroom window every day. Does this mean good news is coming? Okay. So it means you're shifting to a more positive time, period of your life. Chapter. That's the word I was looking for. I always use the word chapter. It's like you're shifting to a more positive chapter of your life, and that's what it's kind of representing. It's like you're. It's not that I'm not saying you're not in a positive chapter right now, but it's like an ascending to a higher kind of positive time. You know, really happy, fun-filled and connection-filled time. Pooja says, so the universe is making these delays so that the settlement could go in a more positive way. It's not necessarily in a more positive way, but it's in the way that it should go, in terms of some people's like karmic energies and things like that. So yeah, it's taking time to align to the way that it should align to balance things out. Some things being balanced out. Let's see. Jan, how does she know what happened? Was it her knowing my Discord stalking me there? Or did she notice Caden isn't with me and assume something happened? Yeah, there does seem to be an assumption there. There does seem to be an assumption with noticing that he's not with you, yes. Angel card for Marianne. Wait, trying to... Oh. Nurture. Archangel Gabriel. As you nurture a child, you nurture your own inner child. Both activities are important for you right now. So nurturing a child and nurturing your own inner child as well. Yeah. So, I mean, we could even be... It can be your own child. It could be a child of, you know, someone in your family or best friends or something like that. And I suppose we could also be nurturing our pets as well. Maybe that would help. Akashic for Kevin. Akashic for Kevin. Let me check if the deck is upside down or if I am drawing that. Yeah, the deck is upside down. I apologise for that. So, the Queen of Keys. So, the Queen of Keys is, the Queen of Keys is, it's usually about kind of your... It's about the home, so it is about the home. So it's usually about the home. Sometimes it can be about work, but I'm just trying to like express this in the right way, because it's usually about some kind of positive move or positive energy around the home. So it could be things like you know, moving to a more positive place that suits you better. It could even be things like signing a mortgage or you know, negotiating a rent that's really good for you, or someone moving in or out of the home that's really positive for you. Like if it's someone moving in that you love, then that's good. If it's someone moving out and you're happy with that, an extra space or something, you know, it's these kind of big changes that go on around the home setting, the location setting. Can even be like moving abroad sometimes can come up with this. It's very usually home and location based. And we can sometimes link it to a job if what we're seeking is kind of... It's usually if what we're seeking is a like promotion or something like that, like we're moving up into something. But I know with your situation it's kind of like you're going from study to actual work, I think. So so that could also resonate, because it's that kind of energy of, you know, I finished this thing, I have to move to the elevated level of it. So that could resonate in a work way for you, basically, is what I'm trying to say. But it really can indicate something changing within the home, moving location. So yeah, think about that as well. Yep, just make sure I have the decks the right way. Jan. Why did Caden choose to block me over M, despite her purposely knowing, crashing our hangout, and her harassing me and stalking me? He was aware of all of this. Is he worried I'll harm myself or have harm myself? Oh, sorry, I thought that was at the end of that question. Yeah, so if you remember before, what came up was that he thought you were both as bad as each other, so he kind of although he knows that about her, there's a lot of things that she has said about you, and he has believed that as well. So it's kind of like you're both kind of on the same level in his mind in that way. So it's not so much. I mean, I feel like it could have gone either way. You know, I do feel like it could have gone either way, unfortunately. Let's see. Marianne, are spirit protecting me from my elder brother Mark as he is trying to gain money from me? Okay. Yes. Did you get a yes on that? Miss Venus, if Charlie knows I'm Phoenician, he calls me my Venus girl. My favourite beautiful Taurus. Ooh. Do you see him feeling attracted to me when we see each other again in person many years? Yeah, I'm not 100%. Do you see him feeling attracted to me when we see each other again in person in many years? Yeah, I'll ask. Yes, it's you got a yes on that. John, excuse me. John, is Kaden worried I'll harm myself or have harmed myself already? Okay. So it seems like there's been a bit that has came up into his mind. So there has been a thought of that in his mind, but it does kind of seem like he's pretty sure that you wouldn't. He's pretty sure that you wouldn't do that. So that's kind of, yeah, it almost like he feels a bit assured that you wouldn't. Kevin says, can I have a love card? Okay. Don't think you can see. So it says, make the effort. Great love is worth taking the steps you are guided to take. So yeah, make the effort, take those steps. Perhaps you're being guided to be a bit more forward now. I know we can go through kind of different phases, like we're being told sometimes to let the flow of the universe take over, but you may be being guided to step into control, maybe a little bit more or something like that. So that's interesting as well. Pooja, how NNA's marriage is working out. So it feels like it's okay. Like it does really feel like there is some kind of there are things to work through. There is some issues to work through, but it doesn't feel too bad. You know, it doesn't feel too bad. It feels like there is some strength in that connection. Moon magic for Marianne. Yes, of course. So moon magic here we have. Oh, go up to there. There we are. I think you can actually see this one. I have power. It is real. So believing in your power, stepping into your power, believing in your power. We have to believe that we have power in order to step into it, in order to embody it. So yes. Miss Venus, do you see Charlie going for a kiss or some physical gesture of affection when we are in person? Yes, I'm guessing a yes on that. Yeah, I'm guessing a yes on that one. Jan, is there anything the ball sees that I can do to get Caden to unblock faster? Like messaging him somewhere and telling him my feelings, make him jealous or worried that I will move on. Okay, is there anything the ball sees I can do to get Caden to unblock faster? Like messaging him somewhere, telling him my feelings, or making him jealous and worried that I will move on. Okay. Yeah, being worried that you'll move on is definitely more prominent than expressing any feelings at the moment. It does kind of feel like he's trying to avoid things like that, avoid, getting into any deep conversations at the moment and things like that. So yeah, I would say the being worried that you're moving on is much more prominent at the moment. Druid's Wisdom from Marianne. I just saw that Miss Venus again in person after many years. That's what I thought it was, but I was thinking, is this like, have you written something wrong or something like that? But yeah, that's what I did think you meant. So yeah, sorry about that. I'm a little bit like silly, aren't I? I'm a little bit, yeah. You can't really see them. I prefer the mobile streams because you can just see things, but then again, I think the writing's mirrored, reflected on the mobile streams, so, but oh well. The long unnamed path. But what if the path leads to something better than you felt? Just keep on the journey, and the fears will soon melt. Carry carnelian for grounding and relief. Very nice. It's always nice when they give a crystal as well. Let's see. Kevin, if elucidator do come for placement in May, will I be prepared enough to get selected? Any percentage, okay? Yeah, I'm guessing like maybe 65% there, that one. Miss Venus says, oh my gosh, so it is Charlie. No wonder most things you had said match. And he does have green eyes. You picked up at first. Yeah, I'm really bad with eyes as well, so I'm surprised that what I first picked up was right, because I think I started seeing hazel eyes as well. So I was kind of like, okay, green or hazel, and I need to make a decision with that. So yeah, that's interesting. But yeah, I think I've had some up and down with feeling like he's the actual soulmate, Like, I definitely feel like I've had some up and down with that. So it's really interesting to come through, like, actually confirmed. Not like, I'm getting some energy that, like, maybe he might be, or maybe he isn't, So yeah, that's quite good. It's quite nice. Jan, has Caden told Drew what happened? What did Drew say to him? Or will say if Caden talks to him about what happened? So has he spoken to Drew, and what would Drew say if he did? Okay. So, like, the kind of energy that's coming through is that Drew wouldn't be, like, too kind of, how can I say it, like, too concerned, like, he wouldn't be too, like, concerned about, Caden's decision, kind of maybe, being okay, being kind of like, whatever, like, yeah, like, kind of a nonchalant kind of energy, like, doesn't really feel like he would super care about Caden's decision, but there is kind of a more jokey message that does come through. That's the actual sentence that says, I'm surprised you haven't, like, kind of jokey and laughy, I'm surprised you haven't blocked M again, does come through, so that's quite interesting as well, kind of in a jokey way. I do feel like there's a bit of resistant energy from Drew to M, like, kind of feeling the annoyance that Caden feels, but not being as tolerant to it. Miss Venus, let's ask directly, is Charlie my most compatible partner? Most compatible partner in this life chapter, okay. So I'm getting a yes on that, actually. Akashic for Marianne. The Queen of Forces. Amazing. So the Queen of Forces is all about like the balance of your mind, body, and spirit. So when you get the Queen of Forces, you might be embodying your divine feminine. You might be putting your like how can I say, your strength, your warrior energy, your positive energy, like everything positive about you, but with a lot of strength to the forefront, you know? It's really about kind of stepping into a power in some way, but it's really positive message for balancing of the mind, body, and spirit. So when we draw this card, if we have a lack in any of those areas, so for example, excuse me, my voice is like going. So if you have like a drop in either of those areas, so it could be like your mental health isn't great right now, your physical health isn't great right now, or your spiritual health or your spiritual being isn't great right now. Like maybe you've had psychic attacks, or have cords, or your protection's low, or something like that. You know, maybe you have some physical ailments, or you're just not feeling, you know, yourself physically, maybe low energy, things like that. Or it could be so you know what I'm saying, if there's any lack in mind, body, and spirit in any way, if that's going to come into balance. So if you do really feel like there is one area that needs a bit more focus and attention, definitely still focus on it and give it attention, but does really seem like naturally in this chapter you're coming into balance of your mind, body, and spirit. So that's always a really nice card to get. Especially, it's a nice card to get if you're really working on your spiritual path, but it's also a nice card to get if you do have any physical ailments, or you know, your mental health isn't great and things like that, because it does link to these things as well. Jan, did Caden block her whenever he confronted her over harassing me? Okay. So I'm guessing a no on that one. Druid Wisdom for Kevin. Yes, Druid Wisdom. Cave of Echoes. Can you hear the echo of music in Fingal's cave within? I don't know if it's Fingal's or Fingal's cave within. Your heart always has a song to sing. A retreat will do good for the soul. Carry aquamarine for calm and clarity. So you're being suggested the crystal of aquamarine for calm and clarity, but also that you may need a retreat. You might need a retreat, or even a holiday or day trip or something like that. You might need a little bit of a break, basically is what it's saying. Miss Venus, how would my friend Magali, I'm sorry if I'm saying that wrong, Magali? Take it once I let her know I'm talking / seeing Charlie, whom she dated in our youth. They had an amicable splitting. Okay. I feel like there's a little bit of shock first, like shock's a really strong word, but you know what I mean. Maybe surprise might be a better word for it. And it does feel like there's some, in the beginning, some kind of feelings coming up. It's kind of like, oh, I don't know how to feel about this, because some, you know, uncertain, hesitation, maybe like, I kind of want to say anxiety, but this is not super strongest, but it's kind of just like this feeling of, I'm feeling it in my stomach. It's kind of like, oh, I'm unsure, like how am I supposed to feel about this kind of energy, you know? But it does seem like it passes quite quickly, and there's feeling happy for you. It does come through, but it does feel like at first it's kind of like a kind of feeling, you know? So I hope that makes sense. When I said shock and when I said anxiety, I'm not meaning like super strong, you know? Jan, why does Caden think I'm just as bad as her? Haven't harassed them. The only reason I knew he was with her is because I logged in to play a game and saw them. So of course I was mad because he lied to me. Yeah, so it did already come through that she had I think it's like shown something that suggests you're kind of like stalking her in some way, or them in some way, or him in some way. But with the other side of it, there's I do feel like there's some lies. There is some kind of lies or exaggerations about things that have happened. You know. Starseed card for Marianne. Signs. The universe has been gently nudging you forward by revealing to you signs and synchronicities. Gentle nudges forward. So yeah, look out for those signs and synchronicities. I certainly feel like you already do, so it's probably just a affirmation that you are getting the signs that you think you're getting, you know? It's not in your mind or anything like that, you are getting the signs. Projected current timeline for N and A parting ways. So it actually looks highly unlikely, but there is a slight small possibility of this halfway through next year coming up. Kevin, should I try for an internship somewhere else before applying in Lucid Data in September? Will it be good and favourable for me overall? Okay. Yes, I do get a yes on that one. A unicorn card for Marianne. Oh, showing up really well. Possibility. Raise your standards. Elevate your expectations. You have unlimited potential. So we were actually just talking about this before, with the B message as well. You're elevating to that higher level. So this kind of resonates with that. So that's really nice. So you are getting that resonating with that from Marianne. So that is very nice. Miss Venus. So he could see people who passed like they are normal people that came and asked him for help, but he became overwhelmed and closed there because he had no support with it and he didn't know much. Yeah, so it's really interesting, and but I'm sure that that potential and that ability is still there. So I'm sure that if he's ever ready to do so, he could open that up, be around more people who are similar, and maybe just learn. Maybe he just needs to learn a bit more about cleansing and protection practices. That it could be as simple as that. Hopefully. Pooja, how can I channel messages from my angels and guides for myself? Yes. So, there's a few things I would suggest for this. So if you know of a specific guide that you do have around you, it would work a bit better. But I would suggest getting specific things that correspond with them for your altar. So I recommend making an altar. It can be pretty small, if you don't have a lot of space. But I recommend getting specific things that relate to them, that resonate with them and relate to them on it. So I would recommend doing some. It really depends. So it really depends on which guide you're trying to connect with. It's honestly different. For me, it's different for every guide you're trying to connect with. But if you can make some kind of altar, that would be the first step. And whatever spiritual practice you do would be related to which spirit it is. So I can't tell you exactly, but I would do an altar. I would have a spiritual practice that goes along with this, and I would then do some automatic writing. So I would begin with automatic writing because personally I feel that it's a bit easier. I don't necessarily say it's easy, but it's a bit easier than channeling directly from voice, in my opinion. Some people are different, so maybe test the waters and see what works for you. But you could try automatic writing, and you could also try I just lost that. Oh, doing different divinations as well. Like if you use a pendulum, or if you use you know, your tarot or something, as long as you're connecting with them, so you have the altar for that specific guide, you're doing the practice for that specific guide, then you know that the messages that come through are from that specific guide, you know? So it's not like you're if you just use a pack of, if you just pick up a pack of tarot in like a shop or something, and you randomly pick one out, it's probably going to be your higher self saying you needed to see this one. But when we work more closely and, you know, we're cleansing our decks, we're connecting with them, we're, you know, asking certain questions and things like that, we begin to be able to pinpoint more specific messages and ask questions like that, you know. And maybe you might even get a deck that's just linked with that guide, or a pendulum that's just linked with that guide, you know. So yeah, I do apologise that was quite a drawn out message. It's different. It's different for every guide, every type of guide and things like that. So you can message me if you want more information on that. If you have a specific guide that you're looking for, you can message me if you want a bit more information on that. But yes, I hope that at least makes a little bit of sense. Miss Venus, how will this other girl, Elizabeth, Charlie's ex, we used to be friends, but she's a little shady and even cheated on Charlie and also wanted my ex as soon as we split, take her if she sees us dating, okay? Already feel like I know how she's going to take it, but let's see. Yeah, definitely getting a jealous energy, a competitive energy, a bit of a, I don't want to say controlling, because I think controlling is the wrong word, because she would have to have the ability to do that, to be controlling, but almost like wanting to contain it, you know, so that jealous energy is kind of like wanting to stop that in a way, kind of, so that's kind of funny. Well, I mean, it's not really funny, but Pooja, how can I channel, oh, I already read that one, sorry. Jan, when will me and Kaden hang out next? Okay. So at the moment I'm getting like a 3-week time frame on that. I think my chart is frozen because there's 3 more questions after that. So I'm just going to, so I'll do these last 3 questions that I can see here, then I'll jump in and out. And guys, you know, sometimes when I jump in and out, we do glitch. So I'm really, let's all pray that there's no glitching when I jump in and out, because my last message I can see, so, Jan, when will Kaden and M hang out next? That's the last one I can see, but I know there's more because I can see them there, pretty sure. So, so yeah, let me just get these few done. So Kevin, I tried to connect with Path around exam week by sending him a reel and trying to talk, but I feel that he was dry texting me. Was Path intentionally trying to be cold? Okay. So do you get a yes on that actually? Miss Venus, how would Omar feel and take it if he sees me starting to date Charlie? Okay. So I'm getting a bit of a like upset. It's kind of like the feeling of a missed opportunity. Missed opportunity is definitely like the thing I would say with that. That's kind of how it feels. And Jan says, when will Kaden and hang out next? And like I said, that's the last one I can see. So let's see what happens. So I'm getting like a maybe 2 to 3 day time frame on that. So I'm going to jump out and in. Out and in? In and out? No, out and in was the right way to say it. Sorry for my sniffling. Have an advert. Right, okay. So, let's see. Okay. So our last, yes, I can actually see that one. So it doesn't look like we've lost any. So I don't know if some of you guys were also kind of praying for that, because it doesn't look like we've lost any. So we're up to Kevin. Can I have a moon card? But I'm just going to put finishing up at the bottom because it does seem like the chat is quite far down. So like I always say, you're very welcome to keep asking your questions after the finishing up mark, but they may not be answered. We'll try to get through all of the ones up to that point that I can. We will just see on our time how much time we have there. So it looks quite long. Oh, I've lost where I'm up to again now. I've lost where I'm up to again now. I'm so sorry. Oh yes. I think it was Kevin, can I have a moon card? I'm pretty sure that's where we were up to. I'm pretty sure, so that's where I'm going to go from. Okay, there we are. I am ready for something bigger, better, and brighter. Amazing. Something bigger, better, and brighter. So, someone else who is elevating and leveling up there as well. Marianne and Kevin, very nice paths, upward trajectories for you guys. Dupree says, thank you, Venus, for the readings. As always, you're the best. Have a great weekend. You're so sweet. I feel like you don't ask enough questions. You ask barely any questions. So, do feel free to connect with me off stream. If there's a member stream and you can't make it, you can ask me like a few questions. And Dupree, you're barely ever on, so you're very welcome to do that. To check in with me, just ask a few questions in place of the stream if you cannot make it. So, yeah, sorry. Let's see. Jan, ultimately, what is it looking like Caden will decide to do with me and M? Does he recognise he was incorrect in blocking me over her and regret this? Okay. So at the moment, there seems still to be uncertainty about if it was the right or wrong decision. So there's definitely an up in the air energy with this, because it does feel like he's not completely convinced that he did the right thing, but he's also not completely convinced that he did the wrong thing. So there's thinking about that. Miss Venus, how do you see things moving between Charlie and I in May? Okay. So what I'm actually seeing here is there's a bit of a slow movement. It's almost like not meeting up as much as you're desiring to in this month. It kind of seems like, but I do. So one thing I'm kind of really getting from his side is like this effort energy, like there's a trying. So I feel like maybe, you know, if he does put a lot of effort in, maybe he can kind of change this and make it so it's a bit, you know, maybe there's more time where he can match more with you or something like that. But it does seem like this, a bit of a slow energy, and like you don't meet as much as you intend to or desire to and things like that. But it is on his side, like also like not as much as he desires to. It seems like he's trying or will try to work around that. An angel card for Pooja. Prioritize. Archangel Metatron. Focus on your highest priorities. I will help you get organized and motivated. So highest priorities. Sometimes we do go off on tangents, side quests. So what are our main priorities? What are our main goals, you know? Jan, why does M have Caden's number? Why was it given? Do they talk / call often on the phone? Okay. So I'm not really seeing much coming with that. It seems to be a very kind of throwaway kind of thing. Like it seems to be a very oh, how can I say it? Like fleeting thing. Like it just happened. Like she just asked and he just gave it. Doesn't really feel like there was too much thought put into that. Kevin says a love card for me, please. We are. So you have honeymoon. Enjoy the bliss of holiday time together. Flight. So just move that there. Oh yeah, so sorry. I didn't talk through the cards. Enjoy the bliss of holiday time together. So you've already had a message about maybe needing a trip or a holiday. So that could be a positive omen that you meet someone on that trip, or you go on that trip with someone who you already know. But yeah, of course, honeymoon can link as well to the honeymoon period of a relationship. So it can be a positive omen for getting into a new relationship. But also it can actually be about, you know, being on a path with someone where eventually it leads to marriage on the honeymoon. So there's many different ways that that card can manifest, that card energy can manifest. So, Miss Venus, at this rate that we are going, since I told Charlie that I agree with continuing to get to know each other more and date, do you see things evolving into a committed relationship? And if so, when? Okay. Yeah, I definitely see the possibility with this because it feels like you're both on the same page of kind of wanting that in the end, and also there's you know, like I think we've spoken about, there is compatibility there as well. So I do see this. I do see the possibility of this. So I'm just looking at when here, basically. So I'm guessing July come through for that. Jan, why exactly is Caden fed up with me, but her, and does he still have empathy? He lied to me, so I was hurt, seeing him with her, and realizing she called on purpose to crash or hang out. So of course I reacted with what will this so the question here is, does he still have empathy? I think. Okay. Yeah, there's definitely kind of like wanting to not hurt your feelings, wanting to minimize hurting your feelings. Like it does really come through, and I do feel like that's why he tries to keep these two things separate, because it's kind of like he knows that there's jealousy on both sides, and there's kind of, you know, that kind of or competitive energy on both sides as well. So there's definitely that kind of thing. He's trying not to hurt feelings. Miss Venus, how would Charlie be as a boyfriend to me? Okay. So I'm guessing quite a sweet energy, like some might say like kind of romantic energy. I'm guessing a very kind of there's a little bit of kind of like I don't mean this in a negative way, but kind of like wanting to be like kind of in control a little bit, like making decisions or being at the forefront and things like that. But I don't mean it like being controlling. I just mean it like having a little bit of a, I would say maybe, I wouldn't say completely like traditional mindset of relationship exactly, but I would say like kind of feeling like, you know, there's kind of a role for a man, you know, like being protective and being kind of like that kind of energy, if that makes sense. There is that kind of energy that comes through, but I do, you know, I do get like a sweet, what you might call like romantic kind of energy as well, like being quite thoughtful, little gestures and things like that do come through. Jan, What will this discussion, when he unblocks me, entail? Will he apologise and recognise he shouldn't be with Em? Or is he just going to explain why he blocked? Or will it be over our feelings? Okay? It seems like there will be an apology, but it seems like maybe there might be an excuse for why he blocked you, as opposed to fully truthful, you know, being fully truthful and open. Kevin, do you see A and I having a heart-to-heart conversation with each other, and if so, any timeline? Okay. Yes, but the possibility of this seems to be towards the end of the year, actually. Miss Venus, do you perceive challenges between Charlie and I while we are developing our connection? And do you see me being just as attracted to him in person? Okay. Yeah, so I definitely see there being some kind of challenges and some growth that goes on. It seems like a positive is kind of you together. You kind of have an ability of how can I say it, like making conflicts short, minimizing like conflicts or arguments or disagreements. You know, like kind of getting over things like that in a positive but kind of quick way, you know, like I guess like we all want in our relationships. So yeah, that is kind of good. But yeah, I would say being attracted in person, I do feel that. Kira, hello and welcome. So you're not too late, luckily. So is Tyro missing me for Kira? Let's see. Actually do get a yes on that. Kevin, if Elucidator comes for placement in May and I get selected, what challenges would that make for me as opposed to Elucidator coming in September? So it actually seems like that would be more positive for you, but it's less prominent but more positive, so I hope that makes sense. It seems like that would be more positive for you. Jancy's timeline for Heart to Heart. I feel like the music's gone up a bit, so let me just turn that on. Oh, we're getting to the end actually. Okay, sorry about that. So timeline for Heart to Heart to Jan. End of May, beginning of June is kind of coming up there. Miss Venus, Charlie asked if there are other people. Charlie asked if there are other people and about my love life and previous relationships, so I was honest about other people still trying to pursue me, Omar mainly. What does he think about this? Okay. It feels like at this moment there's not too much thought about it. It's just kind of like kind of happy that you're honest and to have like the knowledge of that. It doesn't really feel like there's too much kind of reading into it right now. I feel like he has a good expectation of how things might go, or in his kind of hope, you know. So I don't feel like there's too much concern over it. But it depends. Like things could change. Like, you know, if you, I don't know, if you were like talking about Omar a lot or like posting pictures with him or something like that, you know, maybe then there might be some changes going on there. But at the moment, it seems like it's just kind of glad that you're honest and to have that kind of knowledge. So yeah. Jan, what has said to Caden that he believes? She doesn't even have proof, but I showed him proof of her. I have never harassed her or anything. It's literally her word against proof of her doing things. Yeah, it kind of seemed like there was something, some kind of screenshot or something about you like stalking. So it does seem like there was some kind of screenshot about that. So I don't know exactly what that is. But yeah, most of it seems to be just spoken over some words, not no screenshots of anything. So yeah, I'm not saying that you have done anything like that. Thanks, Miss Venus. Yeah, you went to high school together. Yes. Sorry about that. Miss Venus, do you see Charlie asking me to be his girlfriend? When and how? Okay. Yeah, so I definitely do feel like him initiating this conversation. I definitely do feel that. Yeah, I just feel like him initiating it in some way. I'm not getting too much on it, but I definitely feel like strongly that he's the one that initiates that conversation. That's what I would say. Kevin, is it better if I try to manifest and make a lucid data come for placement in May or June itself? Will it work? Okay. Yeah, higher energy around May, so I would say to go for that. Jan, why does he feel assured that I wouldn't hurt myself? Is that even a good assumption from him to have? Yeah, it feels like he just doesn't think that you would go that far. It feels like he just doesn't think that. Yeah, he doesn't think that you go that far. That's just kind of what comes through. I suppose it's never a good assumption to have. You should never just assume that someone would never do that, I suppose. But also, a lot of the time as well, you have to think about the situation. So, I'm certainly not vain enough to believe that someone would hurt themselves over me blocking them, it's just kind of that, you just have to look at it from that perspective. I think a lot of us here wouldn't believe if someone would hurt themselves if we block them, so yeah, I hope that makes sense. It's like the best way I can express it. Aries, hello, welcome. So yeah, we'll go through a few of Aries' questions here whilst you managed to jump in for a little bit. So yeah, it's nice to see you. I'm glad you at least caught me here at the end, and Keita as well. Aries, please tell me what my partner's current feelings and intentions for the connection. Okay. Yeah, so I'm seeing a very similar energy. So I'm seeing a very similar energy in terms of still a very strong expectation of this long-term connection. So that's really positive. It is really viewing it long-term, so that's good. Yeah, so viewing it long-term, love feelings still there, like attraction's still there, positive energy still there. So I think that's really, really great. Aries as well. Well, I end up seeing him at all tonight or tomorrow or both. Okay. There is quite high energy on both. There is quite high. It seems a little bit higher on tonight, but there is high energy on both, so that's good. Pooja, ends, intentions, and next actions for our connection. Okay. So there's definitely no intentions. I feel like there's a bit of, you know, even though there's kind of thinking about you when things go wrong in that connection and things like that, there still doesn't seem to be like, I'm going to act on it. I don't really feel like he's at that stage, because like he's still in a connection, he's still kind of working on the connection that he's in. So I don't really feel like there is a intention to do anything, like to actually take an action. But I do feel like the next actions will be a little bit more conversations, you know, talking a little bit more and things like that. So Jan says, just to clarify, has Caden already told Drew, or is he planning to? I don't know if he will consider the blocking is temporary. If he will consider, has he already told you that he blocked you? If that's the question, then do you get a yes on that? Aries says a pregnancy timeline or high month for pregnancy probability. Okay. I'm getting July, August come up there. Aries, has my partner been having any conversations with his friend named Bob, or any of his close friends, such as Cody, or any family members, even, about our connection and the future of it, and if so, what? Okay. Yeah, so there does actually seem to be a close family member who has inquired a little bit into, you know, what he's up to and what kind of the connection and things like that. Sorry. So what he's up to, asking, like, you know, inquiring about the relationship aspect specifically. And him being very open, you know, saying that he loves you and that he sees a future and things like that. So we do see that, but he just seems to say that he's like thinking about certain things that will elevate the connection in terms of, you know, meeting more family members and things like that. I do feel that, but that he has that intention. I was going to say something else and I lost it. Come back. But yes, so yeah, there has been some. So kind of talking about this. So someone else has kind of instigated that they inquired about it, you know. But yeah, definitely being quite open and honest about it to this family member. So that's quite nice. Because it's thought-provoking in itself when someone asks you that question, you know? Like, oh, what do I actually want? So at least there's some thinking about that. And then Aries also says, can you tell me if my partner has been thinking on and off at all about marriage and marriage proposal and how that would look like? And if so, what kind of things he has been thinking when it comes to the process and what it looks like for him and I? That's one thing I don't see. So I don't really see marriage really being something I'm really thinking about. Like, I feel like getting engaged, like, you know, that step, I feel like he thinks that does come into mind quite often, I do feel. But I just feel kind of like thinking about the actual marriage in terms of like a date, a time, what it would look like, how he would propose. I just really feel like he doesn't think about it quite enough, you know. Yeah. Well, proposal maybe, but not actual marriage. I feel like he doesn't really think about it that much. Miss Venus, is there other women romantically interested in Charlie and perhaps making efforts for him to notice them? Okay. So we get to know on that kind of aspect, but what I do see with this, with the other women kind of thing here, is that there has been some people that he's connected with, like in recent like months, maybe, you know, yeah, like I would say recent months, maybe a little bit longer than just recent months, where they've kind of connected, flirted, kept communication channel open. Maybe even they've met like once or twice. So I do feel like there is something that's still open, that perhaps just didn't build up to anything special. But that's still kind of open. So I am seeing that. So just thought I would clarify and mention that part of that. Aries. Since my partner has been spending a great deal on and off at my place lately, he has been spending time talking and getting to know my 17-year-old daughter and my 9-year-old son. How does my children feel about him, and how does he feel about my children? Okay. So I will say that all around there is mostly a very comfortable energy. I do feel like there's a little bit of apprehension on his side initially, which is interesting. But that's probably like also like nerves about, you know, you've been together for quite a while, known each other for quite a while, and this is kind of a new experience. But yeah, I feel like there's a very comfortable energy all around. So on both sides, I feel like you know, I do feel kind of like he appreciates it a little bit more. Like I feel like your children are kind of, I feel like the very, oh, the light's gone out, oh no, oh there we go. I feel like the very kind of comfortable energy is them feeling like it's very normal, feeling like it's, you know, a normal part of their life. So that's really good. It's like fitting in well, like feeling like he fits in well. So that's like really nice. But for on his side, sorry, I would say it's a bit more thinking about it, a bit more appreciating it, a bit more realizing it's a special thing, you know. So he realizes a bit more that it's a special thing, whereas I feel like your children are kind of more accepting of it and feel like, you know, yeah, it's just good, you know. So I hope that makes sense. Gosh, where am I up to? I think I've been dragged to the bottom here. I'm sorry, I did go on quite long with that question. And Aries also says timeline update of when he will move out of his friend's house and end up moving into his own place, and the timeline of when he will move in with me. Okay, so this is interesting because what I'm seeing here is the energy of him moving into your place is actually more prominent than getting his own place at this moment. So actually the energy, I definitely feel that's changed a little bit here. It seems a bit more like prominent that he'll move into your place. So let's look at, but we still look at the timeline with both of them, because of course, just because moving into his own place is a lesser prominent path, it doesn't mean it will be further in the future. So we'll still check timeline for both. Yeah, so own place seems to be towards the end of this year. Your place seems to be more beginning, maybe beginning to mid of next year. So yeah, it's, even though the own place is lesser prominent now, it's still a further, if / when it happens, it's still earlier. So yes. Things have shifted a little bit between you guys, I can see, in a positive way, you know. Miss Venus, did Charlie post that picture I sent you through Facebook just now, or for me to catch my attention, or just in general? Okay, let me check. Let me jump off. If the chat glitches, we're all blaming Miss Venus because I'm jumping out of the chat to check her message. I'm gonna show it on stream. No, I'm joking. No, it's nothing that I couldn't show on stream, by the way, guys. It's certainly viewer friendly for YouTube. Nothing wrong with that. Just so you know, Miss Venus isn't sending me any pictures that she shouldn't be. Okay. So the chat is fine. So no need to be angry with Miss Venus, I suppose. Although you can do if you want to. Let's see. Where am I up to here? Can't find it though. I know that there's been no glitch, but I just can't find it. There we go. So did he post that picture to catch your attention? Okay, sorry guys. Let's get to it. Yes, I'm getting a yes on that. Kevin, where should I do my internship in before applying to Lucid Data? Mumbai, Pune, or do it online or somewhere else? Okay. So online is actually coming through as most prominent at the moment, so that's interesting. A love quote for Jan. It is, love yourself first. Love yourself first. Your self-respect makes you more romantically attractive. So when we're loving ourselves, we have a lot of self-respect and self-love and self-confidence, self-esteem, you know, really working on ourselves. We do become more attractive because we emanate those energies and then that attracts people, you know? So yes. Yeah, self-love. Miss Venus, how does Magal... Oh yeah, so we have pronunciation. Magali? 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 Magali. I'm so sorry. Even when you give me the pronunciation, I can't do it. But yes, how does Magali feel and think about Charlie now? Okay. So what I would say that there's like a general understanding that he's quite an attractive person. There's there's a kind of a general understanding of that, but like I wouldn't say there's like a denial of that or thinking that he's horrible or ugly or anything like that, you know. But I feel like there's just kind of a disconnect, like that's there's just like a disconnect. I hope that makes sense. Like I'm not. I recognise, what other people recognise, but it's just not for me. Is the right way to maybe say it. Kevin, should I do my internship in finance, data science, bioinformatics, marketing, or something else? Okay. Bioinformatics is coming through most strongly, but data science also does come through as well. You're very well. My light's gone out again, but we are just coming up to the end now. What's going on? No. Oh, I'm gonna talk. Okay. Well, let me just see. I think we had 2 more questions. Miss Venus says, how does Elizabeth... I'm kind of trying to fix it with my other hand while I read this. Let's see. Miss Venus, how does Elizabeth truly feel about Charlie now? They had an online relationship for a lot of our youth, but she... sorry, on and off, not online. But she is now married and has a kid. So how does Elizabeth truly feel about Charlie now? Okay. There's a little bit of a kind of dislike energy coming through, so I don't know if there was something that happened or anything like that. It seems quite small, but it's definitely coming through. It's definitely showing up. There's some kind of a little bit of dislike, but mostly it just feels kind of like that's past. That's past. Just kind of feels like something that almost like a shrug energy, but there is that little bit of dislike coming through, so that's interesting to see. Jan says, will me and Caden be able to move past what happened? Or is it looking like we both need to have a sit down and talk things out and address the issue, which is okay. It does look like a talk is needed. Like, it really does look like a talk is needed, and like the thoughts and desires and emotions on both sides need to be laid out. Definitely do agree with that. I think that's the best way forward. Kevin says, why was Path intentionally trying to dry text me or being cold when I tried to text him? Is it something I did? Okay. It feels a bit more like something on his side. So it does feel a little bit more like it feels a little bit more like something on Paul's side, where it's like not. I don't like to say depressed energies because I think that's too strong. But low emotional energies, feeling quite low emotionally, fed up and things like that, and doing this to a few people, not just you, is what I would say. So yes, so the light is telling me that I should be coming to an end where I said finishing up, which certainly, you know, we made it here, so that's great. It's really great to see all of you guys. There is quite a few questions still here. Let me just see a moment. Just hold on a moment whilst I grab my. No, actually, I can do it from my phone. Hold on. So we have the spell on the 30th. There might be a stream early tomorrow, so I'm spending some time. I have I have some early things to do that are, like, booked early. But if I finish them early enough to where the other things I have booked, I have a gap, you know what I'm saying? If I get a gap there, then tomorrow there'll be an early, something like pendulum, something like that. But looking to do, oh no, I was going to say maybe another members crystal ball, like, slotted in somewhere. Maybe we could do it. Maybe on the 30th, so let's try to aim for this. I'll have to see about my own bookings and, you know, things that people book with me, because if someone wants to book on that date, I kind of have to let them. But let's see if we can. Let's try the light. Oh, I don't like being in the dark. So let's see if on the 30th, before or after the abundance spell, we can do a members crystal ball. It probably will be before, so I'm sorry. That'll probably be a bit earlier for you guys, so I don't know if maybe you can make it. But the pendulum is set. The abundance spell is set for 8 p.m, which is the time this one started. So we might, even if we just fit an hour in, could you guys maybe do 7 p.m? We could maybe do like an hour members one just before, just to fit another one in, and that could be nice to do. I don't know if maybe you want to do that. I'm just going to scroll the rest of the comments just to see. So Aries, it was really nice to see you. I would love to maybe try to do a stream that's more suitable to you at some point, because I know that you don't really often get in. So what I will say is, Aries, when you're posting like all your questions in a row, like all of them together, and it's all your questions, you are very welcome to do that. I know that you don't hardly ever get in, so when you are in, if you're in for like, you know, 10 minutes, just shoot all of your questions in, and that's totally fine. So you're very welcome to do that. Miss Marianne, you're welcome. Let's see. Oh, I'm so sorry, guys. Yeah. We can blame Miss Venus. And by Miss Venus, I mean the Venus that is doing the stream. Yeah, I always find it strange. If like a client or anyone like addresses me as Miss Venus, like in an email, I always think of you, and I always think, I'm not Miss Venus, I'm just Venus. And I always think of you. Yeah, I liked, we always have our little jokes, don't we, going on the stream. I do really appreciate it. It's always nice to have you on stream, Miss Venus, because you do bring a little bit of fae energy, in my opinion, like a little bit of kind of a light-hearted, maybe like a mischievous and jokey a little bit kind of energy, so I think that's cute. But yeah, I literally can never not think of you when when I get dressed like that. Kira, I did answer your question. So, Kira, if your phone died, just shoot me a few questions in an email. You're totally welcome to do that. I am jumping off now. But yeah, if you want to shoot me a few questions in an email, I will answer them for you, so don't worry. You can do that. So yeah, so just say, how many people do we have in here? 5. 6. Okay, so yeah, the abundance spell, it's going to be a mobile stream, that's why it's not scheduled on the homepage. There are 20 spaces. If you are definitely going to join, I would like to know if you can. If you can't, obviously that's fine. But yes, there's 20 spaces. There's 20, well, I think there's 19 members. So maybe it will just be members. We will see what happens. I feel like not many, if any, other people who aren't members will come on, so it might be quite a nice quiet stream. That's kind of how I'm envisioning it, but we never know. Things might change. The energies might change for that. So yeah, just let me know if you can make that. So love, light and blessings to each of you, or just love and blessings since I have no light right now. But yes, I really hope to see you soon, and if I can fit in that little extra hour or something of a member stream, I will try my best to do that. So yes, love and blessings. See you soon, I really